Can't hear me. The microphone's muted. All right, guys. You know how this goes. Can you hear us? And I mean us as in both me and free to play Padawan, who is also.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
I hope they can. They should be able to. It looks like they can, but we'll give it a second. Guys. All right, let me just. Alright guys, we're gonna start the stream off today. So we've got something a little bit different. We're gonna be doing a talk show, which is where I will go through a different topic, and each time we'll do a different topic with a different person. Hopefully content creators, sometimes it won't be, sometimes it will be. Today we are lucky enough to be joined by... Would you like to introduce yourself?
Free-to-play Padawan. What's up, guys? I am the free-to-play Padawan, and I love this game, and my whole goal of my channel is to try to help teach new players how to play the game, because it's complex. It's a very complex game, as Glurmit will attest to. And so if you guys haven't checked out my channel yet, please check out my channel, Free-to-play Padawan. We have a lot of fun over there. I stream twice a week, and I am going through a process of making a brand new account and growing it all the way up to the end game as fast as I can. I'm about a year in so far, a little over a year in, and we are almost at 3 million GP, so we are growing fast and having a lot of fun.
Alright, I have just put your channel in the
thank you.
Comment section now, so people can click the link and
Sweet.
Go show you some love. Alright, so...
Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course, no problem. So like we said, we're going to be talking about free-to-play today. We're going to be going over a little bit of fleets, because fleets is obviously a big thing, crystal income. We're going to be talking a little bit about farming plans. We are also going to be touching on why we actually play the game, and how we can enjoy the game playing even without spending money, which is what free-to-play Padawan excels at. There is no one I would go to before them. Like, you can come to me for all this free-to-play stuff, but if you want the real free-to-play, the real knowing how to be good without spending money, free-to-play Padawan's your guy.
You're too kind. You're too kind. You are killing it with your starkiller account, man. I can't wait till you get him on the new account.
Hopefully it comes along soon. Alright, before we get going, let's just take a look through the chat and see what's been said already. So, Grand Admiral Thrawn said, free-to-play Padawan Mitt. You've been claimed by Thrawn right there. We also have a comment saying you should buff the dark side in the intro screen. I should, but I kind of feel like light side's better. We have a few comments about the fleets, which we've already had 12 votes. It's split 50-50. Malevolence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's big. It's huge. And then we have got Mike saying happy Sunday to both of us. And
Mike V, what's up, my man? Para's in the chat too. What's up, Para?
Lots of people in the chat today. And Kanji Club, what's up, guys? Well, I'm doing good. I don't know how free-to-play Padawan's doing, but...
Doing great. Having fun. Looking forward to hanging out with you guys for a bit this afternoon.
And... still got more comments to go through here. We've got Grand Admiral Thrawn. Glurmit equals free-to-play Padawan. Very nice. And then we have... We need to know more about raids for free-to-play guild. Like, are we starting on tier 1? That's talking about... You may not know this free-to-play Padawan. Or should I'll call you Padawan. I wouldn't see your name.
Yeah,
before.
Padawan, yeah.
I set up a guild for brand new accounts to come and hang out. So I will talk a little bit about that today. I spoke about it the other day. We kind of need tickets. We are going to be recruiting in the next couple of days, trying to get the numbers up. We will be doing raids, and like I said, I'll bring my main over so we can clear the higher raids. Grand Admiral Thrawn, your signal's not going in and out, so you may be out of sync. That's okay. Nothing wrong with being slightly out of sync. It means you get to watch the whole thing twice. Alright. Anyways, so I want to start this off, and you guys in the chat, comment as well, because we want to engage with you guys. But I was going to start by asking Padawan, why do you actually play the game? Like, what is it that made you decide to play this game?
I love turn-based combat games. I don't find that I'm very good at live action stuff, But the turn-based, you could just sit there and think about it for a minute, and it's all about strategy, you know? And so I was looking for a turn-based combat game years ago, before this, well, right when this game came out. And all of it is like very sexually charged Japanese cartoon, style animation. And that is personally a trigger for me. I don't want to get too personal, but I have had some past experiences of being addicted to pornography, and I was trying to stay away from that. And Star Wars, I love Star Wars, and it's a wholesome game. I mean, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes has got that turn-based that I love. It's also very wholesome, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Well, one thing I want to touch on there is the fact that you said you find it fun. And guys, if you go and look at any of the big content creators, and a lot of them do it, or if you just go online like Reddit or go to any other places on the internet, so many people don't know the difference between having fun on this game and treating it like a job. And I think it's really important that Padawan brought that up. They play this game because it's fun, and you guys who are watching, you should play it because it's fun too. Although Grand Admiral Thrawn does bring up a good point, it's the only free Star Wars game on the mobile, so they're forced to play it. And I mean, that is true. When we think of other Star Wars games on the mobile or those sorts of devices, there isn't really many choices. Oh, we've got another comment. How do I find SWGOH fun? I don't know, guys. I think it's fun. I understand it has flaws. I'm sure Padawan knows it has flaws. There are things that are so annoying with this game. But the main thing is you can have fun, and you can do it without spending money. So, going back,
I actually find that not spending money. Sorry to interrupt, Glurmit, but I find that not spending money is actually the thing that allows me to have fun. Because if anything does go south, with the game, or if they make decisions that feel predatory for the people that do spend money, I'm just like completely unattached to that. I can enjoy the game. In fact, I love people who do spend money on the game because they help to support the game that I love for free, and I get to play it for free. I feel so lucky to be able to play this game without spending any money,
No, I see. I think you make a great point. Let's take Datacrons and their introduction. Alright? People who spend money in the game, they are obviously very, very mad about these changes. Because you're basically spending more money for something that's going to be taken away from you in 2 to 3 months. But then on the flip side, some of you who are free to play may have seen, I'm going to do a shout out to my video here, may have seen my video from today where you can beat JMK Cat with Jedi Knight Luke. And that's using a Datacron. And then you guys who are free to play and have Jedi Knight Luke are probably screaming, going crazy, like, oh, we can finally compete without spending money. There's like those two sides to it. Alright.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
But I like what you say about not spending money is your way of enjoying the game. Because in a way, it changes for everyone. Like for me, I don't have this, but I know some people do. Some people feel like when you don't spend money, the achievement's worth more. It's more value to you. If you can get to, say, 7 million GP and you've been playing since day one, you haven't spent any money, that's a great achievement. And for some people, that is like a big thing for them. If you want to make anything on that, I'm going to read the chat and then we can...
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, I feel that way myself. I feel like there's a lot of games that I play this way where it's like if you can achieve or be competitive with people who do spend money and you're not spending money, that just feels like you're getting away with something. It feels like you're breaking the system a little bit, and it's a lot of fun to basically, I like going into a game like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, learning how to be successful and then like dominating that universe as much as possible without spending any money. And then obviously you can look and see the easy way to strength very quickly is by spending money, but there are ways to get strong without spending money.
Absolutely. So Boss King Lego Productions said, what new game mode would you enjoy being added to the game? So I'll let you start with that one. What game mode would you want to see come? That's
a good question. I particularly enjoy guild-based content. That's where I find a lot of my enjoyment in the game, is how I contribute to something bigger than myself. So I think more guild content, maybe a new raid, like everybody's always talking about that Death Star raid, a raid where we could use ships would be cool. A new territory battle. I feel like the jump from Dark Side Hoth to Dark Side Geo is a really good balance, but I feel like the jump between Light Side Hoth and Light Side Geo, I think there should be something in the middle there, you know? I mean, it's way harder for Light Side Geo than it is for Light Side Hoth. Maybe there's an opportunity there, or maybe like a neutral territory battle where you could use all of your characters instead of being restricted to light and dark. I think that'd be fun.
I love that you brought that up, because I just have a feeling, especially because we've had characters who make use of light and dark, for example, Starkiller.
Yeah.
Part of me does wonder, because they're releasing Territory Battle Omicrons, and they're all of the Territory Battle Omicrons are good in their own way.
Right.
Maybe we're not going to talk about Calf here, but it's usable at relics, but who has a full relic?
IPD, maybe not so much.
Yeah, it has uses, but
yeah,
I feel like we may be seeing a combination one where potentially we have, say, a light side battle, a dark side battle, and then a mixed battle like Cantina. I feel like that. I mean, maybe that's just me making stuff up. But I'm gonna be real. That's something I would really love to see added. And like you, before GAC changes, I was a territory battle guy. That was my thing. I loved it. I never used to like GAC, and it kind of goes back to what you were saying a minute ago about, you know, the spending money and not spending money. Now you guys are going to all make fun of me because obviously I have a whale account. But before the changes, right, being 8 million GP at the time, or 8.5 or whatever it was, you only ever went up against people who were like that. You know, when for example,
really
Lord Vader
tough.
came out, and Lord Vader, by the way, unless you wanted to drop a small fortune, you wasn't going to get him day one because you needed all the Bad Batch done. So, you know, day one, you're coming up against Maul, you're coming up against Lord Vader, and it's just like, it was fun, but for me, the changes now, it's no longer just who spends, it's also, there's a competitive element to it.
So you actually like it better now.
Pardon, what did you say?
You like it better now?
Yes, I like it
You're
better.
the first person I've met with that perspective. That's
I like
awesome.
it more. I like it more. And I get, it's really tough. But like, okay, if you was, you know, one of the top guys, which I'll be honest, guys, we know I'm not quite there. Maybe my opinion would be different. But now, I can kind of spend the way I'm already spending, which is probably more than I probably should. But I also don't need to spend beyond my limits to keep up, which is what it used to be like.
That's a good point.
Because trust me, dude, I used to suck. Oh, it was a rough time. But yeah, I'm happy with the changes. We've had a few comments here. Kanji Club agrees with you, by the way, about the free-to-play, how satisfying it is.
Thank you, Kanji Club. Appreciate the support.
They also said a neutral Old Republic territory battle.
That would be very cool. That would be very cool.
And then Grand Admiral Thrawn, what do you think the next GL will be? I mean, that's a question we're always asked.
It is.
Alright, Chewbacca's nose. Who actually is that? Roster reviews today. We may do a joint roster review later on.
That'd be fun.
It would be fun. So if you want a roster review, I can't get this because Discord's here, guys. I can't get it up. If Kanji Club's kind enough, they'll post a link to the Discord. And if you want to have a roster review, please join and post it in there. Give us some information. And if you want to be really picky, ask who you want to review it, or we can both do it. So go ahead and do that. But yeah, I don't know. I think the game's in a great spot. I can understand why Wales didn't really like the changes, but personally I did. I may just be a random guy there though. So, on the topic of why do we play the game, why do we enjoy it, I wanted to ask you a little bit about what's kind of your advice to someone who's free to play, because if you're brand new to the game, which a lot of people who watch this channel and probably watch your channel are brand new to the game.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be watching this, and they're probably thinking, they've just started in last year, and they're like, Proving Grounds, 4 million GP. Datacrons, got to have all these relics. GLs are going to take me a year and a half to farm, and, you know, that GLs are, like, SLKR is pushed as the number one farm for new accounts. and they're asking you to commit to 1.5 years.
Yeah.
For your first character. So what is your advice to the people watching to, one, stay motivated and actually want to play the game, and just really, what is your advice that you give people?
Well, I'll tell you, I did some research before I started my channel on what is it that makes a game fun.
Yep.
I thought that was really important to understand, because I didn't just want to make a channel about how to play, although I do have a channel and I want to make it about how to play, but I want it to be about how to have fun too.
Yeah.
And the key to having fun that I found in that research was progress.
Yep.
When you stop progressing, you stop having fun. That's why a lot of these games, when you reach the end game and you're trying to get that last 1 or 2% of effectiveness, but it takes so much to get it, that's when a lot of people quit. And so I said, well, how do you make sure you have fun in the game? You build an account with growth and momentum. So my whole account build focus is not going after a certain character. It's not going after a certain faction. It's going after things that will help me grow in the game fast. And so fleets, to me, it starts with fleets. If you are getting top 5 in fleets every day, which is attainable for free-to-play players, fleets will give you 300 to 400 crystals per day. And then you can take those crystals and buy refreshes with them, and now you are growing super fast. And then you use that momentum after you get a strong fleet to build a character that does great in the raids, because guild raids will give you a lot of great gear, specifically the Sith Triumvirate raid. And so that's what we've done in my account. I went after the Geonosians first, and I ran the Geonosian ships under Tarkin, and we were able to stay top 5 almost every day with that fleet until I was able to unlock the Malevolence and transition the Geos right under the Malevolence. And now I'm going for Gas, who can do almost all of, if not the whole Sith raid. After that, I'm going to be going for SLKR. So I am going for characters, but it's not just random characters. It's for what they give you. They give you high rank in the fleet, high rank in the squad arena, high rank in the raids, and then all of a sudden you're getting all these things. You can go for whatever you want, and you keep growing fast.
No, I love your answer, and I kind of want to touch on it. You talk about, for you, fun is progression.
Yep.
For me, and I'm sure a lot of other people, fun is winning. For me, personally.
Yeah.
So, progression's cool, but that's where, like, you and me change. For example, you're very guild-focused, Geos. You're going Gas. Gas is a very guild-focused farm. Because you need Gas for outside Geo. You need Galactic Republic for outside Geo, which we'll touch on a little bit, guys. Hence the poll at the beginning of the video, or stream. And then you have my plan, which is more GSC focused. You know, we're going starkiller, we're going for characters who won't necessarily help your guild 100%, but it's more of a selfish sort of play style, let's be real. And then you have other sort of farming plans, like for example AP Games, who's all about core teams like troopers and teams like that, and then worry about everything else. So you've got lots of different styles of gameplay, and
all of them have great merit. Definitely.
Absolutely. And all of them are fun to different people. For some people, you know, Territory Wars is very fun. Like Kanji Club in the chat loves Territory Wars. Because it's the whole idea of, you know, bringing our guild together with one focus of winning. And yeah, GAC's fun. But there's so much more strategy and planning involved in a Territory War. When, you know, you have 25 to 30 teams on average for smaller guilds, and you know 50 teams per zone on the bigger ones. There's a lot of planning in there, and some people really enjoy that. Or some people like yourself enjoy being part of a bigger thing with a guild and, you know, territory battles. And then there's me, who enjoys the selfish game modes. But my point is,
if you focus on Grand Arena, you're also focusing on Territory War to an extent. You know, you're definitely helping your guild. Definitely. It
is true. But you know, I'm very intrigued by your love for the guild. I love to see it. Too many people they play this game and they don't really think about the guild they're in. And you know, you brought up the raids. Your camera's apparently gone off, by the way. You're back.
Oh, has it?
No, I think it was just an internet connection.
Oh, okay. Oh my goodness, my camera looks crazy right now.
Do you want to just
my screen?
Do you want to just flick it on and off and see if that fixes it?
Let's see here. Let's see if I can fix
There you go.
it.
You're back. You're back. It's fixed.
Oh, I killed it, so we might have to hang on a second. Let me see if I can get it fixed. I'll stay with you though. Carry on, and I'll see if I can get it back.
See your camera, by the way. It's back on.
Okay.
It was just. I think it was just a glitch with the internet or something.
Okay. All right.
What I was gonna say.
I look pretty crazy on the stream right now.
It's flicked again. It's flickered again. Oh, you're back. Oh no, you've gone crazy again.
We'll get it sorted.
You have
Let's
like
just carry
four
on.
eyes on my screen.
I know, with the hair in the wrong place.
Anyways,
Oh my gosh.
It's all good.
The uncanny valley over here.
So, Grand Admiral Thrawn has already DM'd me. It didn't take them very long. They want you to review their roster. They don't want me doing it. They want you to do it today. So, as long as you're okay doing that later.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know how we'll figure that out. I can pull up Streamlabs up.
I can get their roster up on the thing and we can go through that.
Okay. Sweet.
But we'll do that in a little bit. We're not going to do any roster reviews just yet. We're going to talk for a little bit first.
We got time, right?
Oh, we got loads of time. So, what I wanted to touch on was you was talking about helping the guild, and do you know what? Raids are fantastic for helping the guild. Because a big thing, like I know from being a guild leader, and I know from other guild leaders, a big thing for members staying, even just playing the game, because we talked about why do people enjoy the game, why do they play, is the guild they're in.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
For some people, the guild is their only social interaction, which I know seems very sad, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for some people, they can't go out or they don't go out, and being in the guild is their only way. Really, it's their friends.
Right.
And in those sorts of cases, people stay in lower guilds. You could have people with 5-6 million GP who are an older player, and they could be stuck in a 100 million GP guild. It does happen. So in them sorts of situations, farming a plan like yours, where you get a raid team, is really beneficial to everyone, and it helps the farm. Because I'm gonna be real, it's not fun when you start the Sith raid, and it gets to 2 days and however long it is, 2 days and 23 hours, and you're not even through phase 1, because it happens.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've all been there. And that just, to me, I just don't like it. It's not fun. It's not fun for anyone. So, again, that's kind of another way people have fun on this game. And an easy way to do it without spending money. That's for sure.
Definitely.
Okay, so next I wanted to... I actually wanted to touch on one thing that interested me. When you said you did research, did you look up Darth Locutus guide? Because your approach to the game is very similar to theirs.
It's so funny because I actually made my channel in order to hopefully fill a hole that was out there. Mm-hmm. And while I was researching my channel, I found Darth Locator. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's already doing what I want to do. Like exactly what I want to do. And he's doing it way better because he's way bigger. But I love his stuff. I love especially his gear guide that he released a couple months ago. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
He has a very unique approach to content creation.
Yes,
it's very good. It's very good, but it's also something that you need to really sit down and concentrate because it's very, very in depth, in detail.
It's like a business meeting.
Oh.
He's like doing a presentation in a business meeting, and he's got the information and he's laid it out so that you can understand it, but it's not necessarily like as high energy or emotional or anything like that. Yeah.
So that just took me by surprise. Then when he's talking, it just gave me vibes of his channel, and I mean, there's similarities. I can see them. It's a shame he doesn't wear the Jedi robes like you do, though.
I know.
We're messaging in the chat. You love DL. DL's good. They're a great content creator.
He's good.
And if you want information on something that you know is going to be right, there's no one I would go to before them.
Yeah.
Really, the only thing I'd say is they're not someone I'd like. There's obviously different energy levels, but their content is completely different. They're fantastic content creator. And they
can't all be Arnold.
No, we can't. And also, people want different creators out there.
Yeah.
But no, I do like the fact that as well you've really you can tell when I watch your content, I can tell you've really researched what you're really going about and trying to tell people here. Okay. The last question for this sort of section was, we've talked about why we enjoy the game. We've talked a little bit about the different guides. I want to know, what do you not enjoy? And spending money can't be an option.
I I hate to say this, but I don't enjoy the GAC changes.
Okay.
I feel like it was way more free-to-play friendly before, where it was building a roster based on you could basically manipulate the matchmaking by building a roster in a certain kind of way. And you could be very successful, get Kyber every time as a free-to-play player. But I'm still finding fun in the new GAC system in just, 2.8 going up against 5.9, and sometimes I win, The sometimes I win is where I find the fun now versus the I expect to win almost every single time.
Yeah.
It was the old system,
Yeah.
But the problem with that is there were some people on the other end that expected to lose every single time, and that's no fun for them, right?
Absolutely. It's really tough because the way it is now, 90% of people who play the game, and most of you guys in the chat right now, are probably getting more crystals than you did before. Because before you had to be, what was it, 200 for crystals? And now it's just 50 crystals. I've just seen, I think he was laughing in the chat. Or was you not? Mike in the chat. Don't worry, Padawan. Glurmit will be joining you soon as Young Han outfit. And Grand Admiral Thrawn backs up with saying Glurmit. Alright, did you see Arnold's music video that he put out the other day? When he's in his robe? They've all started saying I should do Glurmit in a robe. That's not something they want to see, I can tell you that. We'll leave that to the professionals.
Boss Livewire's asking, do we watch AP Gaines? I have a tremendous amount of respect for AP Gaines. I've seen some of his stuff, and some of his guides are really good, but I don't usually watch his live streams because I just... Like, one time, I clicked on an AP Gaines stream that says, who is the thickest Bad Batch? And I thought he was talking about, like, defensive stats. He was looking at their butts to see who was the thickest, and I'm like, this is not my level of maturity that I enjoy.
That doesn't surprise
But he's
me.
hilarious.
He's good. I watch the occasional video. Most of the time, especially now when he's streaming, I'm normally streaming or sleeping. That's the fun thing of time differences. Obviously, being UK based, when all the fun people are streaming, I'm fast asleep. No, he's a good content creator though, and he does make some good guides, especially for newer players. I do like the fact that, especially now with the GAC changes, I think that his guides are really aging well because they were always about building up core teams.
Yeah.
And I think now more than ever, if you rush SLKO, and I know they now have the TIE Fighter Omicron, which is good, but it's not, meta defining in 5v5. 3v3 is another question. But what's happening now is the people that have Imperial Troopers and clones and all the other teams he says to farm, which, guys, don't quiz me, I've forgotten. Anyway, all the teams he would suggest to farm, the meta teams, whoever has more of them is likely to win GAC, as long as you're strategic. Obviously, there's going to be some exceptions, like if you're 2 million GP. I don't know if they're in the chat today, it was the boss. They are 1 million GP, they've just turned level 85. 6 million GP roster in their first GAC. And, yeah, that kind of sucks. It does kind of suck.
What are you going to do? What are you
going to do? But for 90% of the matches, even when you're outmatched, like, some of the people in the stream, like Kanji Club's obviously in my guild, you might not have known that. They are one of my guild officers. So I sit with them sometimes and do GAC with them. And they had their 3 million GP, they went up against 6.5 million of all these GLs. We looked at the mods, they're all like plus 10 speed, plus 15 speed. And even in that sort of situation, you can beat it, If they're that slow, you can definitely beat them. What is that on my phone? Give me a second, guys.
Oh, so you're saying the whole character was plus 10, plus 15?
Yes, yeah.
I thought you were talking about every single mod. I'm like, I feel like that's pretty good.
No, sorry.
Every mod plus 10 or 15, that sounds pretty fast to me. I guess I need to speed up.
Spreading the word of Glurmit. Guys, alright. Maybe if my channel ever becomes really successful, and I one day, hopefully if I hit like 1,000 subs, I'll do a stream in a robe, just so you guys.
Oh, you're going to hit 1,000.
No.
Yes.
I don't want to get ahead of myself. But thank you for the kind words. If that ever did happen, though, I'll definitely Glurmit in a robe. That would be quite fun. So
I'll be there. Sounds like a plan.
You answered your question.
I'll be there watching. Sorry, go ahead.
I hope so. No. I love it. You said what you don't like about the game, and then I was going to say something, and then Mike's comment made me laugh, and now I've forgotten what I was going to say. So, that is fantastic. Let me see. Oh, we've now had 24 votes. Everyone's saying negotiator. Very interesting. And we can talk a little bit about that shortly.
Yeah, let's talk about it whenever you're ready.
Yeah, well, let me just see what I had penciled in for now. Alright, what we was going to talk about now, before we do... Grand Admiral Thrawn, I did get your DM. Padawan will do your roster review. So don't worry, they'll do it. So, what I want to talk about next is, we've kind of spoken about free-to-play and what it means and why it's fun. We're talking a little bit about different content creators, which, by the way, guys, go check every single one out, and there is a lot of them. Obviously, I'd recommend you go check out Padawan's content. I have my free-to-play series. AP Games has his. Darth Locator has his, although his is slightly different because it is a Hyperdrive bundle account, especially his new one. But the information is still the same. Mm-hmm. And then there's plenty of other ones, like is it Free-to-Play Ollie? Isn't that a big one?
Yes, Free-to-Play Ollie is another one of the content creators in our Free-to-Play Nation Discord.
Sorry, I'm reading what Mike said. They think something to mention is more than the core teams to start, which is more focused on which team to relic up, as those resources are scarce, especially in free-to-play. That is something we're going to cover today, because I actually want to get Padawan's thoughts on, do new accounts, like for you guys watching, is it worth you taking a team up to make use of datacrons? And I really want to know what Padawan thinks of that. Because I've got my thoughts. We don't know if we're going to agree, but we'll see. And then we've got another question. What are our thoughts on the TIE Interceptor? Which I don't know if you've unlocked it, or have you? Because you're...
Not yet.
You haven't. So I will... Unless you want to say what you think of it, I can go ahead.
Oh, well, I'm happy to share my thoughts.
Yeah,
I'm going for it right now.
Go for it.
Well, I think that with Kyber requiring 6 fleets,
yep,
it's important to know what the best 6 fleets in the game are.
Yep.
And the Empire fleet under Thrawn with that new ship is absolutely one of the top 6, if not the top 4 really good fleets. So it's absolutely something everybody should be going for, but you need to run it with the right ships. Obviously, it's got stipulations. If you look at Darth Vader's ship, I think his unique ability is where the stipulations are shown. It's got to be all Sith or Empire ships to go with it. But it's such a good fleet, and it's definitely something that I'm going for. Even at 5 stars, where you unlock it at 5 stars, I think it's useful.
Absolutely. What I was going to say is exactly what you said. It makes Empire, for me, I think it makes it a top 3 fleet. I think, personally, right now, the best 3 fleets in the game, in order, would be Executor, Finalizer, Chimera, for me.
Wow. More than... Wow, that's saying a lot.
It is saying a lot. The thing is, Empire on offense, now, for the majority of you, you'll be able to beat Negotiator with Empire very easily. If your opponent has a Relic 9 Kenobi, you will need a Relic 8 Vader. A Relic 8 Vader with 6 dot mods is faster than a Relic 9 Negotiator. Because the whole... Okay. Yeah. 100% is always faster. Now, the only stipulation for winning there is Vader has to go before he gets AoE'd and killed. But you can counter, so that's something we're going to talk about later. The relics, Vader's a very good Relic 8 for that reason. Now, the Interceptor then takes a... Chimera wasn't the powerhouse it is now a while back. But what Chimera does is it takes it and it makes it insane. And defense, offense, what a capital ship. The problem is now, Malevolence and Negotiator are just too easy to beat. Negotiator's good, but if you don't have the TIE Bomber in there, Rebels are going to blitz it to the ground. Malevolence has always been very good on offense, but unless you have very high Relic Geos, it's going to be very... It's not really the best on defense.
Which I'm a fan of high Relic Geos. Absolutely. Yeah. I've got them Relic'd up at least to Relic 4, except for Poggle.
Yeah.
But Relic 4, Relic 5, and that's not high Relic, I know. But it's
higher than mine.
It's Relic.
Mine are Relic 3, and I want to take them higher, but I just haven't really got around to it. And then the finalizer for me is only beaten in terms of how good it is by the Executor, and that's because finalizer. Wow. It is actually a more consistent counter to Executor than Executor is.
Wow, that's
Explain
something
that
to say
to me.
right there.
Explain
Yeah.
that to me. Now, the only problem is you do need higher relics. There's a guy on YouTube who I'd recommend, even you, Padawan, and everyone else in the chat. They probably know loads of times. Go check him out. I'm going to put his link in the chat here again. They're called Grand Arena Science, and they have a website. And on the website, we can do a little showcase of it later. But their website, you input the characters you're going up against in GAC, and what will happen is it will tell you exactly who to counter it with. It will tell you how many banners you get, and it will give you a link to a video from a content creator to go watch. So, for example, you could say you want to beat Aiden, and then you put in Stormtrooper, Magma Trooper, Stark, and like someone else. Can't think on top of my head. And you put that in, and then it will give you all these options. It will say how easy it is, and he does this all by hand. He watches all this content and makes all these counters. It's fantastic. Great content creator. But I recommend you go check them out. And what they did is every end of GAC, they do like a review. They're a top 50 player in Kaiba 1. And they do a review and they talk about the meta. And they said in there, the stats show if you have a Relic 7 or higher First Order Officer, with a 7-star tie echelon, it is around about a 90% win rate against Executor.
Wow.
He said, yeah. And if you have a Relic 8 or Relic 9, it goes between 95 to 98% success rate.
So it really comes down to that tank. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And the way they broke it down was, so with the opening, they normally AoE, they mass assist. So they mass assist on your echelon. It'll be about half health. You'll then take a turn, and every time you take a turn, it regains protection. Okay. Now, for your ship to die, they would have to mass assist and crit on every hit. They would then have to have Razor Crest crit and call Xanadu Blood, who would have to crit twice. That's the only way you can kill a Relic 8 one.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you can still lose. They did say you can still lose. But it's something for you, free to play, and if you're going to go SLKL, which I recommend people do at some point, farm that shit, because this guy, I don't mean to talk about him so much, but he's such a good content creator. And in his video, he actually said he actually uses a Finalizer to climb in Squad Arena or Fleet Arena. He doesn't even use Executor.
Really?
Yeah. I know, it's amazing. You wouldn't have thought about it.
I would not.
So that is something for all of you. Sorry for the tangent.
No, that's fine.
I had to talk about that. Such a good shit.
It's a very relevant topic for free-to-play players to talk about, is how are you going to fight an Executor in Fleet Arena? Because you're going to have to. Our Fleet Arena that I'm in is just over a year old, and there's already 2 Executors. Both of them are 7 stars, and I have to be able to beat them to be able to get into the top 5 sometimes. Yep. And or at least to get to number 1, which number 1, that's that sweet spot. You got to get number 1 if you can. Yep. So yeah, I mean, the Malevolence has an option, but it is nowhere near as reliable as the Finalizer. Yeah. We're talking about when you go up against an Executor, you got to bring the heat. You got to have 6-stop mods on all your pilots. You got to have those relic levels where they need to be. But that's attainable, because in this game, even as free to play, the question is not, can you do it? The question is, what order are you going to do things? So if you put your focus on the fleet that you're going to use to beat Executor, you are going to be relevant in the Fleet Arena. You just are, Yep. I
think you've really hit it on the head right there. Have we spoken about tips for the light spenders? Or have we not? I can't remember. Is that just what we've been talking about?
We have not spoken about that yet, no.
I wasn't sure. There we go. So next we're going to talk a little bit about our advice to people who are either free to play or people who spend, but maybe, it's every so often. It's not like a reoccurring thing. And I kind of wanted to say, firstly, tips for how to get crystal income, and then we're going to cover a little bit about tips for how to stay competitive. What I mean by that is, take a look recently at just characters in general. Every character that comes out is always the fastest character, with the exception, no one's faster than Gideon. But you look at Inquisitors, they might not be the best faction, but they're all very fast, all 186 base speed. The Admiral Radis came out, very fast character, very good character. Aiden's come out, very good character. All of these characters are coming out, and as a free-to-play player, how do we balance between going for the tried and true, going for gas, or going for those sorts of characters? Or how do we balance it between going for, say, JMK, who's newer, Lord Vader, who's newer, going for even an Iden team? For example, there's someone in my guild who is actually going to be farming Iden to Relic already, because they're just such a good team. I mean, Iden can beat gas. It's kind of like, I want to, with your help here, give me a second, guys. What's going on? Give me 1 second.
I've lost you, just in case.
No,
not intentional. I can't hear you anymore.
Someone came in, so I muted my mic.
Okay.
So you didn't hear walking around. Anyway, what I wanted to kind of talk about was what advice we would give to people who are either free to play or light spenders on how to kind of stay relevant in the game. And obviously, crystal income's one part, the characters is another. Because you don't want to be going, say, how do I explain this? You don't, especially with datacrons, and the fact that we need Relic 3 to even activate them, which I think is ridiculous. A lot of people under gear events, for example, let's take gas event. A lot of people leave, or the separatists at low gear and only take B1 to Relic. But now, would you recommend to stay relevant? Would you actually recommend someone takes the whole team to Relic? Or would you recommend they continue as they were? That's kind of a little bit of a starter there.
There's several questions in there, but I'll just break it down into 3 questions if you don't mind. Yeah. One question is, should you go after the new characters as a free-to-play player or light spender? And I would say two things about that. First of all, as a free-to-play player, I say no. You should not go after them until they've been out for 1 year and they become accelerated. There's enough other stuff in the game to farm that you don't need the new hotness. And as a free-to-play player, I feel like you just need to say, I don't need it. All right. But if you do want to go for it, the best way that I know to go for it is to wait a couple of weeks after a character comes out, that you can start purchasing their shards for crystals in the shipments, which is way cheaper than getting those packs where you get 7 shards at a time or 12 shards if you're lucky, kind of a thing, you know? So if you are going to light whale on a character like that, definitely it's better to wait until they go into the shipments to buy them with crystals. But in general, buying shards with crystals is just a really terrible rate of value. It's a bad value. It's a bad value, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I like the fact that you tell people to wait, and I think this is a very important thing. Part of this game is, you have to understand, guys, they're going to release a character, and the character's going to be amazing, or maybe mediocre until they release something more amazing, and then they want you to spend, or they want you to waste your gear to get it. And in some rare instances, you're forced to. For example, Bad Batch, you was forced to invest in them if you wanted Lord Vader. But at the same time, you don't lose anything from waiting, which is, I think, a very important thing. And that's why a lot of these farming plans, not necessarily mine, but a lot of them are about going for older characters like Gas or Jedi Knight Luke or, even SWGOH, who is now older. And you think when he first came out, he was hard to get. Now, he's time-consuming, but I wouldn't say he's hard because there's no Relic 8s. There's only a couple of Relic 7s, and that's kind of it. And then, of course, if you're a light spender, don't buy marquees. It's too expensive. I talk from experience when I say it's not worth it, guys. Unless you really love the character, or unless you're like a content creator and you're forced to in a way. Like, for example, Arnold. I wouldn't buy him just because you're paying so much money, which is fine, but it's just time, money. You got to balance it.
Sure.
Hey, hello there. I did message you. You're the. Yes, I remember now. How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you coming along. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
Right. So. Yeah.
So another question that you asked, if you don't mind, is you said you asked kind of 2 questions. How do you get crystal income as a free-to-play player? And you also asked, how do you stay relevant as a free-to-play player and competitive? And I would say the primary answer to both of those questions is a fleet-focused account. I honestly think the best way to build an account in the current state of the game is to take the 6 best fleets in the game write down all the characters that are the pilots of those fleets, and then build all your teams around them.
Yeah.
Because then you are building, and then obviously farm the ships as well.
Yeah.
Because then you can build some really great teams. You can build the CLS team, the Padme team, the Gast clones team, the SLKR and all of his pilots. You can build the bounty hunters for the Executor. These are good teams. And there are some teams that I feel like you should probably leave at lower gear early, like the Imperial Troopers. You should definitely get them, but they can do great work at like gear 8, gear 9. They can take out relic teams. You should focus your gear on the characters that are going to make your fleets better, because if you get one fleet up and running, you get that 400 crystals a day from Fleet Arena. That's going to help you stay relevant like crazy.
I think you make a really good point. If we actually take a second and actually break down the different fleets and the characters we get from them. So for example, Hello There just said they're one of the Malevolence gang. Geos are one of the best teams to start with, and Separatists are a great way to go. And they're right. If we think Malevolence, you have 3 pilots, right? You have Geo Soldier, Geo Spy, Sunfeg. Okay, that is a team right there. You then have Empire, which is Vader, Palpatine, Royal Guard. We're not going to talk about the other characters. Some of them are good, some of them aren't so good. I mean, Empire's probably the weakest. Like, are we really talking about investing in Gus Exon, guys? Probably not.
Yes, do it. I'm telling you, man. If you want the best fleet, you gotta have all the pilots for it. You got to.
It's true. I don't know.
But my Sunfac at Relic 6, and I love it. His ship.
I need to get mine up.
I'm telling you, man. If you go after the fleets, you're not going to be disappointed.
Wow.
Until they take the crystals out of Fleet Arena, right?
True.
And then it's going to be like, oh crap.
What I was trying to get at is, Geos are a team in itself. Empire has a team in itself. Rebels, before, one of the weaknesses was you're farming a lot of Rogue One characters, and they were terrible. Admiral Raddus comes, and all of a sudden, they can beat JMK. I don't know if you saw Fatal when he was doing testing. He beat JMK Cat. Only once, or twice, but he beat the top team in the game with a fish, basically. Admiral Raddus and a Rogue One. And what I'm trying to say is, now Rebel Fleet all of a sudden becomes a better farm, because you get good characters with it. First Order makes so much sense. I mean, literally all the characters, but Sith Trooper are a fleet in the fleets.
Right.
And then we have Executor. You don't have a choice. You have to invest in the pilots there. And
the characters for the Executor are not the greatest.
Negotiator is the last one, which gives a very good team. It gives you a whole Padme team, a clone team.
Yeah.
It's really worth investing in. So, I think you make a really good point. Invest in pilots, because it's kind of like a 2-for-1. You get a good team, and then you're also getting a good fleet. And obviously, fleets are the way. And as many of you will probably know, the meta now is fleets. In Kyber, if you don't have good enough fleets, you're going to get rolled, unfortunately. And even now, Kyber 2, Kyber 1, the amount of times they go up against an opponent and they have like 5-star ships or 6-star ships, and it just becomes really easy to beat. Your account was a Geo rush. You wanted to get into a good guild, won watch shards, so it was supply and demand, and going for Geos, the ships were the obvious choice. Absolutely. And this is the other thing. And it goes back to why Padawan enjoys the game. They enjoy being part of the guild and the greater game. And part of that is, if you go for Geos and you get them up and running, guilds are going to want you. I've seen guilds that are 250, 300 million, and they're taking people that are 1.2 million, 2 million GP, based on the fact they have Geos and they have promise and potential. So 100% work on it. I'm not saying go leave your guilds and go look for a 300 million GP guild. You have to be kind of lucky to be in that situation. But what I am saying is, working on these teams to get into a better guild is 100% worth it. We've also had another comment. Ships get you crystals and GSE holds. Yeah, it does. I mean, definitely. I'll give you the example of my smaller account, which is an SLKR Rush account. Now, I literally only have First Order Relic and then Rex, weirdly. And I'm putting like a mace with rubbish ships on defense. It's not held for me once, and it probably never will hold. And it's kind of like wasted. Another comment: GAC forcing you to have 50% win rate no matter what. You feel like going for TB tunes is a better thing now. Well, it is and it isn't forcing you. Eventually, everyone's gonna level out to be a 50% win rate, but obviously that levels out over time. If you're 1 million GP, you're not staying at 1 million GP forever. And if you have a month or 2 months where you grow insane, or you get to the point where you just get a Galactic Legend, say you just unlocked C, just unlocked SLKR, you're not going to be losing 1 and winning 2, or winning every other 1. You're going to shoot up, and then it will level out again. So there is still a way to climb and improve. For example, some of you may know the Optimist. He's sometimes in the chat. I've done the talk show with him before. He has 1 GL, and he's a Kyber 3 player. He has JML.
Goodness gracious.
I know, insane.
That's awesome.
Such a good player.
Yeah.
And they got put in, I think it was a Rhodium to begin with, and they climbed all the way up, and they got to Kyber 4, and for a month or so they were winning every other one, or winning 50%. And I can't remember what they did, but I think it was they invested in some teams. I think one of them was actually the Akbar team. They're crazy. They've got like a Relic Akbar, Relic Leia, both Omicron. They've got Relic Ahsoka Fulcrum. Relic.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and Ahsoka Fulcrum is crazy. They're making me want to get them Relic. But my point is, they invested in these teams, and now they made the jump, and now they're going 50% win rate in Kyber 3. So it will level out, but at the same time, it's not like you're locked into that forever. Once you're in Carbonite, you're not going to stay in Carbonite forever. And you're not going to get out of Carbonite if you're only winning every other 1. You're going to have to eventually break out of that cycle,
right,
and move up. And I think that's something we need to kind of make clear. But yes. I do like the fact that you're investing in TB, because TB is important. And it kind of comes down to the guild. If you're in a guild that struggles in territory battles, maybe it's a good investment. And also the Finn Omicron is amazing. I'm just going to put it out. I wish I had it. I don't know if you've seen gameplay of that Padawan, but...
No, I haven't.
Oh, go watch it. You can 4 out of 4.
Finn Omicron, okay.
Yeah, what a character. So there is potential here, but it's just balancing it between, do you prefer GAC? Do you prefer territory war? Do you prefer territory battles? I think for me, I'm going to ask you in a second, but for me a good balance would be 70% GAC Omicrons, and then 20% territory war, 10% territory battle. I feel like that's a good balance, but obviously... that may change. I don't know what you think. I don't know if you would agree with those percentages there.
I think that as a free-to-play player, I'm growing at a certain rate, and I am getting Omicrons faster than I'm getting teams to put them on myself. So I think that it's actually... I don't love Omicrons, because... the whole point of my build is to be as relevant as possible in as many game modes as possible. I really don't see it as an either or. Sure, you got to pick the thing that you focus the most on, but the teams I'm building to be relevant in Guild and relevant in Fleets, I'm using them in Grand Arena, and I'm using them in Conquest, and doing okay with those teams. So I don't think that you should build teams because they have a good Omicron. I think you should build teams for other reasons, and then just slap every good Omicron on those teams. Like, for instance, First Order. I'm starting to build the First Order, moving towards SLKR. I'm going to be getting Phasma and First Order TIE Pilot. They're both really good Omicrons for their respective places. I have an ability to make a 7-star Qui-Gon, but I'm not building him because he's going to kind of disassemble my Padme team. So that's one I'm leaving on the table, And so, just go for whatever, just build what you're going to build, and then Omicron those teams that you're already building, I think. I think, regardless of whether they're Grand Arena or Territory Wars or Territory Battles, I
think you made a really good point. Too many people see these Omicrons that are good, Qui-Gon, they apply them, I've now got to ruin my team I already had. And then Padme becomes useless. But before we talk about that, I've just heard from the chat that you've been promoted to the rank of Jedi Master.
No, that's not... Mace will never let that happen. He keeps telling me to take a seat, man.
No, you've been told. Your beard's too good. Multiple people saying you have the best beard, and you're now on the council.
Well,
You have no say.
that is outrageous and unfair to everybody who doesn't have this kind of beard. Thank you for the kind words, you guys. Y'all are awesome.
I am really jealous of that beard.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the kind words.
I know it's kind of going off topic, but how long did it take you to grow your beard?
I have just been growing it forever, man. I mean, I just cut it when it gets too long because it gets scraggly pretty quick sometimes. And I don't know. I think, well, thank you. Thank you.
Anyways, we won't talk about your beard for too long. We don't want to flatter you too much. Big Wayne.
Something else just before we leave the GAC conversation, if you don't mind.
No, of course.
I'm not sure how many people are aware of this. If you're in a lower league or whatever they're called, division, the higher division you get, the more crystals you get when you do win.
Yes.
So it's not just the daily crystals that are increased when you go into a higher league, but your win crystals that you get when you win, let's say in Kyber, is a lot more than when you win in Carbonite.
How many are you getting on a win at the moment?
I don't remember.
Because
I don't remember. It's 200 and something, I think.
I'm on 900 for a win.
Yeah, that's a huge difference.
It is.
So even though it's 50-50 win-loss, if you're doing that in a higher league, that's a huge difference.
But what I'll say is then when I lose, your 200 instead of 900 is such a big hit. I'm not going to complain. We got another few comments, if you don't mind quickly going through them. Big Wayne, the SLKR Simp. I feel like once I progress in the future, the only TV on me they're going to apply will be Kyle once starkiller's up and running.
Yeah,
Good one.
Yeah.
We've also got Grand Admiral Thrawn. Why is their event so hard?
We have to ask you that question.
Yeah, maybe you should make the event easier. Come on.
Yeah.
And then Mike said, Padawan, did you meet your wife with a beard or baby faced?
You guys, I have the worst baby face. I look 12 when I shave my beard. And in fact, I met my wife actually before I could grow the beard super well. I just had the sideburns. Mm-hmm. So I was one of those sideburns guys in college. We met in college and I was rocking the sideburns.
Oh, well. At least you got the beard now.
I've since grown the beard since we've been married.
It must be those Jedi powers you have. Alright, another comment here. For example, if you get a win in a Rhodium 3, you get 470 crystals. It does make a difference. And this is kind of why, if we're giving tips to you guys, like, the first tip is obviously the easiest one for you guys free to play, or light spenders, is Fleet. I think we can all agree it's much easier to get top 50 in Fleet, because there's no mods, there's no data crons, there's none of that stuff. It's just literally Fleet. And the only thing that matters is the gear on your pilots. There is nothing else that matters there.
Yep, the gear and the dots on your mods.
But to get high in Grand Arena, you need to have a combination of both. How do I put it? You need to have a good roster with certain teams and a lot more teams, because obviously as you progress up, you need more. You need more fleets, you need more characters. I mean, I need, 15? No, sorry. In 3v3, it's 15 character teams. In... What's this? Is 17? I actually don't know. In 5v5...
Per side? 15 on defense, 15 on offense?
Yeah, I think for me on 5v5, it is 13 teams and 3 fleets. Goodness and if you times that up, you do 15 times 5 for defense. I'm terrible at maths. You might have to help me out here. I think it's 60, right? Something like that? Or,
guys, I'm bad at math too. It's
right,
one of the things
guys,
I say at my...
You know what's coming. You know what's coming, guys. Calculator. Can't even do basic maths.
Let's get it out. Let's get it out.
What did I say? 15 times... No, not 15. It was 13 times 5. That's 65 characters for defense. And then if we times that by 2, you got 130 characters needed for offense and defense. And that's not even taking into account fleets, which is like another... Yeah. It's crazy. And that's why we say, guys, investing in fleet may be better than investing in Grand Arena. Unless you want to follow my plan, which is like throwing it on the side and saying, no, we're not bothering with fleets, we're just going Grand Arena. We'll see, and
that's fine. That's fine. I think if you're going to ignore fleets, that's the way to do it. Is just go ahead and ignore them, but go hard on characters, right? The really good characters like Starkiller. Absolutely.
Now, we've got a couple of comments we've missed here. Someone earlier, I'm just trying to find it. I can't see it now. Someone earlier said, what do we... it was Boss... God, I can't pronounce your name, I'm really sorry.
Livewire.
Wire, is that how you pronounce it? They said, what are your opinions on Datacrons? I'm going to go first.
Okay.
It's 11 teams on Carbon 1? I thought it was 13. It's 5... Oh, it is 11. I'm actually... Yeah, it's 4, 4, and 3. Don't know where I got 13 from. Anyways, it is 11. For some reason, I thought I was in, like, something above Carver for a second then. Right, so they said, what are our opinions on Datacrons? And I'm going to try and give you my opinion without giving you my opinion, if that makes sense. Because I personally, a big thing about my channel is I don't want to be, just raging all the time. I want to kind of give you guys information. I might not necessarily like things, but I don't want to put it in a bad spotlight for you guys. So for me, good things about Datacrons, they are changing the meta. They're allowing us to do things we couldn't do before. For example, I say we couldn't do it before. There's a funny story. So, for example, Jedi Knight Luke can beat JMK. I've done it with multiple lineups now. There is a video on my channel you should go check out if you haven't. Funny story though, guys. The actual footage you're seeing from that video. So, I'd done that, I'd uploaded it, and then someone on Reddit asked me if I could beat a different lineup. So, I went into the squad arena and I did a different lineup, and I was like, hold on a minute, this is a dark side Datacron. And then I was like, oh, my Jedi Knight Luke never got the buff, so I actually did beat JMK without Datacron. Funny story. But with the Datacron, it's very reliable. Kanji Club was with me earlier, I was just showing them. The only time I lost, I did 4 battles, I lost 1, and that's because I clicked the wrong button. Instead of reviving Revan, I healed up JKL and I lost. So it's extremely consistent, and Datacrons are allowing us to do that. So that's a positive. Okay? Another positive is it's changing it up. For example, who would have used Finn or Resistance Trooper, or in the future it's going to be Daka, or all these different characters? They wouldn't have been used, and now they are being used. So those are the things I do like. Things I don't like. Why are we paying money for it to be taken away from us? Now, that is a slippery slope, because you could say, oh, but then if I pay money I should keep all the resources. But then if you pay money you get that bigger an advantage compared to someone who doesn't. It's incredibly hard to balance. I just don't think they've done it right. That's my honest opinion. I like the idea, I like the concept. I don't like the way they've done it. And, I've bought all the stuff from the shipments. I've got 8 level 3s, 1 level 5 Datacron. I haven't even got level 9. So the amount you'd have to spend to get level 9 Datacron is just ridiculous. I think it's important we establish that. Alright, yeah. Would you like to give your opinion here?
Yeah, definitely. I think Datacrons are neat, to be honest. I think that as long as you take a free-to-play perspective and you don't spend any money on it, it's just a free bonus that we didn't have before. And as somebody who likes the strategy of trying to figure out how to take down things that maybe I shouldn't necessarily be able to take down, like a full relic team with Gear 8 and Gear 7 Imperial Troopers, Datacrons can both give you an advantage and create a bigger challenge for certain teams, that you're facing. And I once again, like I said before, I love whales, and anybody who spends money on the game, I feel like you deserve to win. I mean, if you spend money and I didn't, and you beat me, I'm not upset about that, because I still have lots of other fun ways to enjoy the game. If I lose...
Sorry for interrupting you there.
That's fine.
I was going to say, it's a very interesting take, because a lot of people have this hatred towards people that spend money, yet you're actually embracing it.
Yeah, I love people that spend money on the game, because it keeps the game alive. This game wouldn't be around if people didn't spend money.
People forget that. People do forget that. Because there's a lot of people who say, if the whales stop spending, guys, the game's going to be so much better. If the whales stop spending, the game's going to be gone before you can even blink. They'll shut the game down.
Yeah.
It's tough. But anyway,
that's fine. I love, in Conquest, I love, what are they called? The data discs.
Mm-hmm.
When we first got our hands in the first conquest on these data discs, and we were taking our teams and doing things with them we were never able to do before. That was a lot of fun, and it feels a little bit like that with Datacrons. They're just not as readily available as data discs are inside of Conquest.
I think
so.
Another worry I have is, like Conquest, some of these modifiers or Datacrons, data discs, are just too powerful.
Yeah.
For example, the JMK one, there is one for every Galactic Republic ally. Whenever they do a special, they stun the enemy unresisted. Now, there's another one. Whenever you stun an enemy, you're actually gaining health and protection. And then when you put these together, that kind of worries me. Got a few comments here. So, Big Wayne, the SWGOH sim. I love that name, by the way. Meanwhile, they wailed on Maul.
Yeah, that was a good choice.
Grand Admiral Thrawn hates whales, but I think that's a different type of whale here. I think it might be a type of space whale.
That's perfectly understandable, right?
Well, I hope that's what they're talking about. Candy Club, if the whales didn't whale, we wouldn't get to play it for free.
Absolutely.
If the whales didn't whale, they would have a subscription fee or something like that, and it's not nice. We get it, guys. It's not nice. It's also not nice when you're free to play. Like I gave the example of the boss in my Discord. They're free to play. They're brand new level 85. 6 million GP account in Grand Arena.
Yeah.
That's horrible. It's horrible.
That needs to be fixed. I don't know how they're going to fix specifically Carbonite. Carbonite players should not have their first Grand Arena experience leave a terrible taste in their mouth.
I kind of feel like the lowest you should be able to drop is it not a rhodium, it's bronzium. I think like bronzium should be the lowest you can drop. I don't think you should be able to go any lower, because everyone's going to go into Carbonite. If you're a new player, you're going to go into Carbonite, and I kind of feel like you should be given the chance to learn before you go. JMK, JKL, JML. Like, what do I do? I've already got my Gear 11 Vader. How am I supposed to win this? And I think we should be given the opportunity to really grow and adapt. Hello there, said. They like people that spend money. All the more funny when they fail against your R7 Droidica on defense. I love that.
Jealous of that R7 Droidica. I'm jealous.
R7 Droidica it's interesting. This is one of the things I love about this game. You can be one of these meta guys, go for meta teams. Or, I've said it before, all the time in my streams, and I'm sure Padawan has said this before. It's a game. And like we said earlier, you need to balance between playing a game and having fun. For example, I'm not going to say I had fun, but you guys had fun. You might remember the other day, the chat forced me to relegate my cup. And I didn't look forward to that. But for you guys, you really enjoyed it because it's different and it's not the same thing you're always seeing. And what I'm trying to say is, sometimes it's alright to have fun. If you want to Relic 7 your Droidica, you Relic 7 your Droidica. If you want to Relic 7 Padme, low-geared Imperial Troopers for the win from Mike, absolutely. And these are the sorts of things we live for. Big Wayne, why is your name so good? Why is your name actually so good? The Galactic Republic Modifying Conquest and Galactic Challenge has now reappeared in a JMK Datacon. It has. And that worries me. Glurmit, you gonna do Movember? I probably will. Padawan, if you did not know, people have invented a million names for me. I've got Glurmit, Glurmy, Glormit, Failmit, Lostmit, Latemit, Modmit. And then yesterday, I woke up this morning to some comments from AP Gains and a load of other people saying, I think it was Glurm Gang. So that's a new one. Apparently, people love changing my name. Not sure how we could change Padawan, but we'll find a way. Mustache.
That is a lot of fun. That is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. Yeah, and obviously, low gear troopers. There's just something special. Like, for example, it's nice winning with Relic Troopers against, Darth Revan and all that. But one of the most fun experiences in the last couple of weeks to me was that Territory War. Some of you might remember. It was a couple of weeks ago. I had a Relic 7 Piet. I had like a Gear 8, 5-star Shore Trooper, All the other troopers were like gear 7, not even 7 stars, and I killed a Darth Revan, and it's one of the best feelings.
Wow.
Best feelings you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Winning with such a rubbish team, like stars wise and gear wise, and this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. If you're free to play, these are the moments we live for, guys. I'll let you read that next comment, by the way, Padawan.
What, Big Wade's comment?
Yeah.
Free to play James Harden. If you know about the NBA, you will get this reference. Unfortunately, I don't get the joke, but it seems like Glurmit gets it.
Guys, hold on. I'm gonna have to get this up. Make sure you're watching the stream. Give me a second. Oh my word. Do you know what? I'm just gonna send you. I can't even send it. Hold on. I'm gonna take a photo with my phone and send it to you on Discord so you can see.
Okay, yeah, I can pull up the Discord on one of my other devices here.
Yeah, guys, come on, it's worth it. Alright, don't know why I'm doing it this way.
It's because I'm so low tech, man. I need some low tech help.
Alright, here you go. I send it to you now. I mean, I could have just screenshotted it normally, but guys, who even does that? Alright, anyways. So, back to the stream.
I love it.
All right.
I love it.
Padawan does a mean GG. Also Padawan, Madawan, Badawan, Chadawan, Ladawan.
Those are good.
Padawan, how
Those
much?
are good.
How much to buy your beard?
It's free, baby. It's a free to play Padawan. You get the free beard. I'm gonna show up next stream with
seriously.
a baby face, and Fear and Raptor's gonna have my beard. That's gonna be sad.
Hello there. You don't get the reference as a tea drinking Brit. You're American sports are not spiffing enough. Oh yes. Guys. Another one. Your level 7 Datacron JMK has won you both GACs. It is very strong.
Nice.
And you got it to level 9 after GAC. Lock with the ability that when JMK has the high ground, his team goes through protection. That is awesome.
Oh, that's the worst. That's the deadliest one, man. That's awesome.
I'm worried about facing that myself. I honestly think because we know how that goes because Sith Eternal, obviously, its protection is ignored. So we already know what that's like, and it's going to kill JML and all that. I honestly think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think Lord Vader Maul might be the best counter there because obviously Lord Vader doesn't have any protections. He doesn't even care.
True.
But other than that, I'm starting to think, what would you even use? I mean, there's some fun stuff. Okay, again, don't mean to plug in my videos, but if you guys didn't see the other day, I showed a Rey. And I just used Rey. I don't know if you saw this Padawan. I used just Rey and Sorty. Okay? And I was one-shotting C, JML, SLKR, just the two of them. And I was hitting for almost 1 million damage on the ultimate.
Dang, man!
It was fun.
Crazy.
It was fun. It was fun. Grand Admiral Thrawn,
crazy.
if you relic Imperial Troopers, can you destroy the world?
Yes.
I think you probably can.
Yes, you could destroy the world twice, because the world's never going to get a turn, because they're going to get all this turn meter from destroying the world the first time. Absolutely. Yeah.
Alright, I feel like we can move on to the next segment here, guys. And that
Let's do it.
I actually want to use the stuff that you guys have been kindly putting in the chat with the poll we've got here. What fleet did you go for first? 41 people. I'm going to end the poll now, so you're all going to see it in the chat. And before we do that, there's a Rey Omicron, where its ability is an added galactic legend, the ability Zeta. And you did a calculation of Guy's Rey, and it has 700,000 health, disregarding outside factors.
What?
Oh, 7. Wait, is that 7 million? No, 700,000.
700,000.
Disregarding outside factors like R2 and Cap.
Goodness gracious.
Absolutely. And can't wait for the 500% health still on Sith Empire teams. Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, there's some scary things here, but guys, look in the chat. 41 of you have voted. 58 of you have voted Negotiator. And before I give you my opinion, Padawan, do you agree with that? Do you agree with the people? Or you can tell them they're all wrong? You can look at the camera
I'm
and
going to
say,
tell them they were wrong.
Oh,
you guys, anybody who went for the Negotiator first. And the reason is because of how you grow an account. You grow an account by Fleet Arena. You grow an account by being in a good guild. And the GOs answer both of those problems, and they blend perfectly into the Malevolence. Plus, the Malevolence has a chance to counter the Executor, where the Negotiator does not have as good of a chance. So those are the reasons why I think Malevolence is the best first one to go for. But that's just my 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the right answer. That's just Padawan's opinion, okay?
I think you will find there is no right or wrong answer.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no right answer.
Alright. If you want to just give me 1 second, I'm making a quick poll.
No worries. I'll read what Mike V has to say here. He says, okay, research time. In a 1-year span, spending little to nothing, how many relic characters in total is a good average? The reason is that number is a good compass when selecting which ones to work on. Okay, so if you... so you're already making a poll about that right there. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Just so we can collect some information.
Polls, dude.
So, yeah, when I saw that, I thought, we can tell you what we think, but why not ask you guys? And just let us know
definitely.
In the poll. Unfortunately, I can only put 4 options. So just put down 15 or less relics. Guys, what are you doing? I mean, free to play could work. I don't know if I'd say that from level 1 to 85. Do you think 15?
I think I had more than 10, I think.
Fair enough.
I think.
Okay. Maybe I should have put like 100. Gone crazy.
No. I think that I don't remember exactly what I had at my 1-year anniversary, but I think it was more than 10.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's with the fleet focus, fleet focus, guild focus. You just get a ton of stuff. Okay. You do.
So you gave your thoughts on Malevolence Negotiator. I want to give my thoughts. And the first thing I'm going to say is it's a trick question, guys. There is no right or wrong answer. Yes, Malevolence. I would say Malevolence is better on offense and climbing, and it's very easy. But then you're also going to be dropping a lot more because it's easier to beat. Now, what I would do, and Kanji Club has just brought it up in the chat, it's almost like they can read my mind. They are the true Jedi Master here today. And what they said is, do you go 5-star or 7-star? And my opinion is, I don't know if Padawan will agree, and this is why we've got multiple people on here, so you can get those really good sort of discussions and really understand. I think it's better to do 5-star Malevolence and then 7-star Negotiator. That's what I would do. Because Negotiator is very good, but I think Negotiator needs these stars more than a Malevolence does. That's just what I think.
There's a lot of wisdom in that. I think there is.
Especially with GAC changes, guys, you need more fleets. And 2 5-star fleets is better than 1 7-star and 1 no.
Well, it's better for Grand Arena, but it's not better for Fleet Arena. So I would say if you can get to the top...
True.
You said top 50 earlier, and I would definitely challenge any free-to-play player. Top 5 should be your goal.
Yeah.
Top 5 100%. Is achievable. Yeah. And if a 5-star Malevolence is not getting the job done, then you're going to have to go to that 6th and 7th star if you go for it first. And if you go for Negotiator first, I definitely think you need to go all the way to 7 stars before you go for the Malevolence. Because the Negotiator fleet is better than the Malevolence fleet versus each other.
Yes,
it is. Yeah. But if you're talking about the Malevolence in the scheme of the game itself, that's why I say go for it first, because of what else it can do.
Yeah. And something I just want to touch on is... my mind's gone blank. My mind went blank as soon as I said that. Well, Thrawn said their ship's the best. I do agree
obviously.
There.
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking about fleets. So here's a tip for all of you guys who are new to the game and possibly older. One of the most important things is as soon as you hit top 50, and as soon as you get top 50, screenshot it and message someone who's top 50 in game and say, hello, your name, and say you get top 50, and say, is there a Discord? Now, I don't like shard chats necessarily. I think they can be very good, but it took me a while to come around to them because it's a weird concept. However, being in it, not only are you securing you don't annoy other people, you're securing that other people are backing you up. For example, say I'm in Padawan's fleet shard, and I don't like Padawan because he has a weird name, and I just start attacking him all the time and hitting him. Padawan can then go and cry to his fleet mates, and they will ruin my life. They'll make me drop. It's not a very nice thought, but the idea and the analogy there is be like Padawan and be friends with the people in your fleet shard.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's not just so that you can get somewhere where you don't belong, because I think that you should still have the fleet that can get up there, but it's just to help you respect each other's payout times.
Yes.
You know, there's 24 payouts every day, or maybe even more if they get those half-hour payouts that I've heard about that I don't really understand. But if you make sure that you attack people who have already got their payout and they do the same for you, everybody's going to be happier. Everybody's going to be happier, you know?
And the reason why I said about a screenshot is just to prove you're in top 50. Because the second you get top 50, you're going to get a shard chat, I can promise you guys, as long as you're competitive, as long as you play. But if you got top 50, you go to tell someone, they could go, I just looked in the leaderboard, where are you? You're not there. You're not getting in. So take a screenshot and prove you got there, because if you got top 50, you deserve to keep top 50. Glurm against the world. Alright, can't relay your rank 69. Well, I guess when you're rank 69, nothing else matters, so well done.
Absolutely. You've won. That's when you win Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Another comment here. Your fleet shard before everyone got Executor was basically be in it or never get top 20. Guys, it's so true. Yes, it is kind of true. Before, and this is something I want to talk about, before the Executor came in, because it was so, it's much easier to climb, people were a lot more strict. But there's also the fact that now people who don't have Executor want to hold on to it. So someone who may have been first, second, third, fourth before, they're now going to fall, out of the top 50. For example, my fleet shard on my main, there are about 67 star Executors now. Yeah. So if you're someone who's getting in there without an Executor, it is in your interest to remain in the shard. So before, you would have had people getting first with negotiating malevolence, they're now not getting it. So that's why it's kind of changed now. That's why nowadays you have people accepting people below 50, which is why I said it's so important. Because the thing is, people are preparing. You never know the second Executors will pop up. I mean, Padawan said, how old's your account? A year and a half?
Just over a year.
And you've already got, what, 2 7-star Executors?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just testing my listening skills.
Very good.
There.
Very good.
So in your case, if you don't prepare, that 2 could become 20 in a matter of moments. So
I better be going for it myself, absolutely.
Yeah. Or Finalizer, but that's obviously...
Yeah, a Finalizer, why not both?
Yeah, why not both, exactly. Why not both? Fearing Raptor Executor overrated? Yes, definitely. 100% agree with you there. Mike, in the shard chat, and number 1 daily. Someone get this guy a medal, because that is what we like to hear.
Yeah, definitely.
It's beautiful.
And Kanja Club is asking how he finds his shard chat. Okay. That's definitely an important question, and I think you have probably some better methods than I do. Would you be willing to share?
Yes, yeah. So
what you can do?
The first way is to find an ally code of someone in your shard. Now, this can be as simple as typing in the name of the player. For example, say it's Glurmit, like me. You just type Glurmit, SWGOH.gg. You find the account that matches online, and then you message that ally code in game. That's the first one. The second way is sometimes you can add them as an ally off the game, message them that way. Or if you're really struggling and you can't find them, you can message guildmates to try and find it. Or you might know a friend of a friend. The way I got into my shard chat was someone I knew was in a guild with someone in my shard. So that's how I found my shard chat. And sometimes there is no shard chat. So if that's the case, there is a way to set one up. You can set up a bot, and what the bot will do is it will give you a list. You have to input it all manually, sadly, but it will give you a list of when everyone's payout is and who hits who. It tracks everything. And it's so useful because getting into a shard chat isn't as simple as messaging someone, like I said. There is a little bit extra. And what you need to do is you need to basically show them a reason to want you. And that doesn't mean, hitting them and ruining their life. That's going to make them angry. It means a mutual relationship. For example, say you share the 7 PM payout in whatever time zone you are with someone else. You need to prove to them that you're willing to let them finish first and they're willing to let you finish first. You have to kind of balance it. Hopefully that kind of explains that.
Do you have the ability to share a screen of your shard chat so that they can see kind of what it looks like?
Oh,
Is that possible?
Yeah. We'll do that at the end when I do the roster review. I'll get up the Discord and just show you guys what we can really see. Really good question. I love that. A shard chat is a Discord with the top guys in the arena shard. Yes, that is basically the simplified version of it. But hello there. If you didn't know, a lot of the people who are probably watching this stream are newer players, so we're trying to explain in the easiest to follow way. Hey Glurmit, I have a challenge for you. Once you get Maul, use Vader Lead, Maul Cat, GK, Starkiller. Okay, only issue there is Starkiller's unique does not activate if a Galactic Legend's present. Otherwise, I would 100% do that. What is the charge? Oh, you was answering Grand Admiral Thrawn. Thank you for answering that. Hello there. I didn't see that. I didn't actually read up the chat. So, I'm pretty happy with our discussion there.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of helpful information.
Yeah, I think... I'm not sure how are you doing for time? Have you still got time left?
I probably got about 20-30 minutes left, sure.
Okay, we'll do... Because obviously I understand you might have to go. So we'll do a quick segment on guilds. I want to really talk about what is a good guild. What do you look for?
Yes.
And I want to I want your opinion because obviously you're very free to play. Whereas I'm going to talk a little bit about maybe the higher guilds and what you can get to eventually, if that makes sense to you. And then we'll do the roster review. We'll do a couple. So remember, guys, if you want a roster review, Kanji Club will be very kind and put a link to the Discord server. Please join and post your ally code. One of us or both of us, depends on how lucky your day is, will review your account. And then I will show you guys the shard chat and we'll wrap it up there. So that's the plan for the rest of the stream. So would you like to go first here?
Definitely. I just want to quickly answer Fearing Raptor's question about how you get Malevolence and Negotiator shards. There is a currency in the game called Guild Event Currency 2.
Yep.
And it is the only way, besides spending crystals, that I know to buy those shards. In the Guild Event store, you can spend Guild Event Token 1 and Guild Event Token 2. And the Guild Event Token 2 is what you spend for those ships. Now, you get those Guild Event tokens from guild activities, either territory wars or territory battles. At a certain level, you start getting Guild Event Token 2. So it's possible you're in an early guild and you're not even getting any of it. And that's one of the reasons to build your roster in order to get into a guild that is getting those things. So just real quick, you said you wanted me to talk about what makes a guild a good guild for a free-to-play player or for anybody?
Yeah, we'll start with for anyone. And then I kind of want to target after that and say free-to-play. And I kind of want to show people the distinction between when you're looking for a guild, I'm going to just give you a quick brief summary and then you can obviously expand on that. It's just between someone going, oh, I need a good guild, it must be 300 million GP, I'm 1 million GP. And it needs to be explaining why that guild may not be a good guild for someone and why one that's smaller maybe, if that makes sense.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, regardless of the size of the guild, I think that there's 3 things that make a guild a really great guild. The first one is they need to have some kind of requirement of how many tickets you have to spend to be in the guild. Now, this is for a guild that you want to grow fast. This is not necessarily how to find the right guild for you. This is how to find a guild that's going to help you grow fast. Because you might want a casual guild, in which case you don't want a ticket requirement. But the number one thing is you want them to have a requirement that they enforce. So they're going to say you have to spend 400 tickets a day, 500 tickets a day, 600 tickets. They need to have a requirement that they enforce, and that will guarantee that you guys do raids very frequently, which is going to get you those key characters that you need, Han Solo, Kenobi, and Traya, and it's going to give you a lot of great gear from those raids. The second thing you want is a guild that communicates. You want the people in it to be friendly and talkative, and you want the leaders to communicate clearly the vision of the guild and what direction the guild is heading so that everybody in the guild can be heading in the same direction. That makes a huge difference on how enjoyable it is and how much it helps your account grow. When I joined the guild that I'm in now, which is, I'll shout it out, it's Lothal of the Senate Alliance. This guild was under 80 million when I joined 1 year ago. And we had the ticket requirements, we had the communication and the vision, and everybody understood if you join this guild, you're building Geos, you're building clones, you're building Padme, whatever it was, the direction we were heading, you're participating in territory wars, and everybody that's in the guild is heading in the same direction. We are now almost 200 million 1 year later, and we are getting like 46 or 47 Watt Tambor shards every time. And we just started doing light side Geo recently, and we're getting like 11 or 12 stars in light side Geo, which for a small guild is very impressive. We win almost every territory war because we communicate, we have those ticket requirements, and the third thing is you want them at least to be doing the heroic versions of every raid. Even as a small account that's 100,000 or even maybe even less GP, you can get into a guild that's doing the heroic version of every raid. And if you get at least one 7-star character, you can participate in those raids enough to get the rewards, and it will transform your account. You will grow super fast and get those sweet legendary characters fast.
I think you've summed that up perfectly. I really do. In fact, I'm not even going to touch on what you've said because it's perfect.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
What I'm going to kind of touch on a little bit, and we're going to try and be a little quick here so we can get into the roster reviews and give people a good time. Because, for those of you who don't know, I like to spend at least 5 to 10 minutes per roster just to give everyone a fair assessment. So what I kind of want to say is, yes, you've kind of touched on it with the raids, you kind of touched on it with the territory battles. I love the fact that you've spoken about having a cohesive guild that's together. What I'm going to add is you need to know what sort of guild is best for you. And what I mean by this is you really need to understand what your goal is in the game. If you're a territory battle guy, or if you're a territory war guy, obviously the guild is more important. If you're a GAC guy, the guild actually isn't as important because you're prioritizing GAC. Other things to take into account, if you're going for a Jedi Knight Luke, don't go looking for a light side Geo guild. You're going to have to spend all your get to currency on Rolo. Go and look for a light side Hoth team guild. Absolutely. It's just, we're all taught to believe that the only guild that's good is light side Geo, dark side Geo. Mm-hmm. That's not true. It completely depends on what you're farming, and actually I'd recommend most people who are doing free to play or new players, I actually recommend and I challenge you to stay in your Hoth guild. And the reason being, you're more likely, yes, it will change later down the line when you get to 200, 300 million, but for the most part, you're more likely to get more Get One currency and Wampa. And Wampa is integral to GAC.
Sure.
So this is what I'm trying to say. It's all about understanding your position in the game and how you can increase that through guilds. And I think Padawan summed that perfectly. Alright, sorry to cut you short. We are going to switch over to the game and we're going to go up a couple of roster reviews and all that fun stuff. So the screen is going to flicker. Guys, I hope you like the transition. Most of you already know it, but in case you're new. So give me a second, guys. And then I'll show everyone the... Okay. Unfortunately, guys, you won't be able to see... Oh, you can see Padawan. Ah, it's fantastic. Look, Padawan's up there. Should we put a little... Hold on, let's put a little thing around Padawan. Give me a second, guys. Ah, look at this. Magic. Let's put a little thing around Padawan here.
You guys, how about a shout out to Glurmit for this production value, you guys? He is awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Alright, guys, so this is a fleet shard. This is the Discord. And you can see, I'm not going to show you all the messages, but you can see it tells you when someone's payout is and it tells you how long you have. And this gives you no excuse to hit your fleet mate before a payout because you can log in and you can see only these two people have this time. It's also very good because I can log in and if I want to change my payout, I can see, for example, shout out to G-Freeze if they're here for making me change my payout for no reason. I was on a payout with one other person. I'm now on a payout with all of these people.
Oh my goodness.
I was doing Lord Vader event and they said if I changed my reset time, I'll be able to do my dailies again. So I changed it and I couldn't redo them. So yeah, sad times. I mean, we could have been on like this. We get the point. Anyways, this is just what a fleet shard is. So hopefully you can see that. Okay, let's now jump across and... Ah! Padawan's gone. Guys.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. If I take it off full screen... Ah! Padawan, apparently you can't be on the screen apparently, so you're going to disappear.
That's fine. That is fine. Okay. I'll pick my nose. I've been waiting to pick my nose this whole time.
Oh, unbelievable. Okay. So, What I wanted to do is I wanted to do a couple of... Oh, Discord's back. Okay, let's move that. Alright, so let's go ahead and do a couple of these roster reviews. And we've got one, it was the first one requested today. And this one is for you, Padawan. And
Alright.
Apparently I'm not good enough anymore. They got a new favourite. And that is Grand Admiral Thrawn. And they are free-to-play player, relatively new. They're working on C requirements, Phoenix and Thrawn, and mods. And they just want you to have a quick look and just tell you what you can see that's good, what you see that could use some improvement, and kind of go from there.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I don't know if you guys ever see my streams. I do something called a roster spotlight instead of an account review. It's really more of a celebration of what you have, but Glurmit's going to give you that really good advice on where you can grow. The first thing I like to do, Glurm, is I like to look at the stats and see, I don't know why we started doing this. We started doing how many pieces of gear have they donated to their guild. I guess it's because I'm a guild-focused person. So is there any way you could jump over to the stats I want to see? Okay, Galactic Power 248,000, almost 249,000. Very exciting. I see you have the name, your namesake, Grand Admiral Thrawn. I'm gonna check the stats here real quick. I've got about a 10 or 15 second delay, so it's gonna be a bit awkward here. All right, so we're scrolling down, looking at the Galactic War Battles one, gear donated. So even though you are a new player, you are still donating to your guild. 10 pieces of gear donated. That is impressive. That is a big shout out to you, my friend. And Beskar Foundling, shout out to that guild. Very cool. Very cool. Grand Admiral Thrawn says, I like you too, Glurmit.
Okay, this is the best I can do. It's the only way you're going to see Padawan here, guys. Unfortunately. Is that what you want, Kanji?
Let's see here.
I can put full screen Padawan in Discord. They make the windows small and overtop the game. Problem is, as soon as I go into the game, they're going to disappear, which is kind of the issue. Alright, while you're talking, I'll just flick you on. How about that? Alright, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, no worries. Oh, look what you've done. That's very smart. That's very smart. All right, so I'm thinking the best thing for you to do, Glurm, since we're so off sync from each other, is if you just go into the characters and then scroll down slowly like you were doing on the stats, and then go into the ships and scroll down slowly. And I'll just kind of talk about it as I see it on the screen. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be synced up with everybody.
Hold on, I can solve that. If you go into the voice chat, I'll share my screen through Discord.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, let's do it that way. That'll be synced up nice.
Now
all right,
you can
fantastic.
See it in real time. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the characters. Sorry about that, guys. It was just technical difficulties. All right.
This guy is like a ninja, you guys.
Right. So, this is my roster. We don't want to review that one. We want to review Thrawn. Okay. Let's get them on. So, let's take a look at.
Here we go. There we go. Yeah, this feels live to me right now. Okay, I'm seeing two fleet commanders up at the top, Grand Moff Tarkin, and Thrawn. That's awesome. And your Phoenix are looking great, and you've already gotten Thrawn to 5 stars. And I see you were asking about why is your event so hard? It's probably because you're trying to go for it right now. Those Phoenix are definitely looking good. Definitely looking good. Let's look at his Empire. Can we go ahead and look? There you go. Let's look at the Empire. You got Tarkin, Thrawn. You got Gideon in your team. Shore Trooper as well, and Dark Trooper. Fantastic. You also have Palpatine. Yeah, you have an Imperial Trooper team. You've got your Empire Palpatine team with Vader, and it looks like you got your Inquisitors up and running too. That's exciting.
Yeah.
That is exciting. Now, what level are you right now? Did you say he just hit level 85 recently? Or?
No, Grand Admiral Thrawn, if I'm correct, is level 74, 75.
Wow, still on the climb. That grind, just stay with that grind, man. It takes a while to get to level 85, but you are looking great. I'm seeing a lot of Grand Arena teams in here. Like I say, Imperial Troopers and Empire are both looking good. Phoenix is looking good. Let's see who else we have in this roster.
All right, let's scroll down.
Okay, R2D2. So does that mean that you are going for CLS as well? Let's check the Rebels and see how we're looking. All right. Yes, Stormtrooper Han and Princess Leia are kind of close to the original unlock level, so maybe not going. But yeah, Mon Mothma also fantastic. So this looks like you've been playing it for a bit because I'm seeing a lot of event characters. You got your
Yes.
Radis, you got your Mon Mothma that was in some kind of a weekly collection thing.
Yep.
You've got a lot of stuff. So if I was to give you some advice on this roster, I would say at this point you've probably been in fleets for a few weeks to a month by now. And my guess is, based on what I'm seeing, you're probably not... I didn't see what your rank was. Can we go back to his rank in fleets?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. 561. Okay, using the Akbar fleet. So I would say keep working on Akbar and work on those Phoenix ships until you can get your Thrawn Chimera capital ship. That'll probably be your best bet for your first big ship. And it looks like with how you're gearing your Thrawn and how you're going after your Phoenix in order to get Thrawn up to 7 stars, that's going to be a great option for you. So you're going to want to go after those either Empire ships or Bounty Hunter ships, but even the Geos do really well under Thrawn as well. And that way you'll have 2 fleets for Grand Arena, 1 Rebel fleet and 1 Empire fleet.
Yep, I like that.
That Vulture droid, you're doing good work on that. The thing is, you're coming up on, or may already have unlocked, the Zeta challenge coming up at level 78, and you're going to have Tarkin's ship to 5 stars, which for that I think you need 5
Yes, 5
4-star dark side ships.
I think it's 5 stars.
Oh, it has to be 5 stars.
Yeah.
I think that the Zeta challenge itself requires 5-star ships, but the unlock for Tarkin
my bad. Yeah,
requires 4.
Yeah, but you would still need the 5 at 5 stars.
You still need the 5 to get the challenge itself.
Yep.
So it's looking like it's gonna be a long way from here. I don't know if you use your Galactic War currency to work on TIE Fighter pilot and let's see here. Who's another? Oh, a Geonosian soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 2 good options for your dark side, and then you can get Crew and his ship, Kylo Ren on mast and his ship out of Cantina, which will be another dark side ship for you. And I would say go after the Geos. Even though he's only level 1 right now, I would say the Geo ships are going to help you in that Zeta event. They're going to help you in the fleet arena. You can run them under Akbar or you can run them under Thrawn. Both capital ships do really well with the Geos underneath it.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I would say go for the Geos and the ships kind of alongside of the Phoenix and your Empire team, but you're looking good, man. You're looking good. You're going to have if you go after the Geos before level 85, you'll have the Geos, you'll have the Empire, you'll have the Imperial Troopers with Iden Versio, you'll have the Phoenix Squad. You're doing good. You'll have 2 fleets with the Rebel fleet and the Empire fleet. I'm loving it. Have you gotten any great mods yet? Let's see if we have any great mods on the roster yet. It's very, very early. You've only been farming mods for a short time. But you've got him fully modded. That's good. You got all 6 mods on him. That's very good. Was that a speed arrow?
Yep.
Excellent. Speed arrows are so fun. That's a lot of speed right there.
Beautiful.
8 speed on that one.
Yeah, Grand Admiral Thrawn has asked you, how do they easily get Geos and their ships?
Can you say that one more time? I'm sorry, you were breaking up a little bit.
They said, how do you easily get Geos and ships?
I tell you, the easiest way to get Geos and ships is from the Fleet Arena currency. Yep. The Geos come from the Cantina, and the Sunfac is going to come from your guild store. So that's another reason to be in a good guild where you're doing raids. You're going to get a lot of that guild store currency. So guild store, Cantina, and Fleet Arena store, and the Galactic War store. Yep. All of those are high volume. You get a lot of currency for those areas, and you can use those. Now that you have your Phoenix done in the Cantina, which is beautiful, well done getting them to 7 stars, you can switch your focus to Kylo Ren Unmasked and his ship in the Cantina, along with Geonosian Soldier and Geonosian Spy. Those guys will all really help you out. And then their ships come up in the Galactic War and in the Fleet Arena store.
Alright. Just because we don't have too much time, and everyone's put like 1 billion roster requests in here. We're gonna jump straight on to the next one.
This was going to be Glurms. If it's all right with you, I can go ahead and peace out, and then I can just watch the rest of the stream while you switch over to roster reviews. Does that work for you?
If